Hi, I'm Tokay Diz. I'm a lifelong Disney fan. I especially liked Disneyland when I was growing up. Disneyland opened in 1955, and I want to show you a special map that was sold at the park in 1958. This map is so chock full of interesting details that I think you'll love it. It really shows what the park looked like in the early days. This map was a huge 30 by 45 inches. It was drawn by Disney legend Sam McKim, whose sketchy style was perfect for the map. He also drew the Disneyland maps for 1962 and 1964 and did concept sketches for many Disneyland attractions, and also paintings for the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln attraction. One of the fun things about the map are the Disney characters around the border. In 1958, the latest characters were from the movie Sleeping Beauty, which was released in 1959, 4 years after Disneyland opened. Walt named the castle after Sleeping Beauty because he wanted to promote the upcoming film. They were originally going to name the castle after Snow White, the first Disney princess. So I'm going to do a short overview of the map and go into detail in other videos. The quote you see here is Walt's dedication speech on Disneyland's opening day telecast in 1955. To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. What a great welcoming greeting to his guests. Over here, I want to point out the map legend, and I want you to notice that future developments were marked with an orange X. I'll point those out later. As we enter Disneyland, Main Street looks pretty much the same today as in 1958. But actually, many stores were different then. We'll go into more detail in other videos. The thing I want to point out are the future developments of Liberty Street and Edison Square. These two lands were never built in Disneyland, although a version of Liberty Street was built at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World in 1971. The theme of Edison Square became the basis of the Carousel of Progress, which opened in 1967. So let's take a look at Tomorrowland. Here is the future attraction Adventures in Science. This attraction was probably in the early development stage at the time, but it is in the area that Space Mountain was built in 1977. Tomorrowland looked very different in 1958, and I want to point out the future attraction of the submarine ride, which opened a year later in 1959. As we head over to Fantasyland, we see a small mountain with a skyway pylon on top of it. This, of course, is a future location of the Matterhorn bobsleds ride, which also opened in 1959. There are a lot of differences in this Fantasyland, which was completely redone in 1983. Heading over to Frontierland, we see a large area with attractions that no longer exist. The Rainbow Bridge pack mules, the Rainbow Mountain stagecoaches, Conestoga wagons, and the Rainbow Caverns mine train. This area became Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which opened in 1979. Also to note was the Indian Village, in the area now occupied by Critter Country. In Adventureland, the only attraction in 1958 was the Jungle Cruise. But let's take a look at the future development of New Orleans Square. Here you see a wax museum and thieves' market. This was interesting because the concepts eventually evolved into Pirates of the Caribbean, which opened in 1967. Also early on, they were planning a haunted house, which was built a little farther north and became the Haunted Mansion, which opened in 1969. So this was our short introduction to the 1958 Disneyland map. I hope you found it interesting, There is so much more detail and stories to go into in future videos, so I hope you'll come back. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. See you real soon. Also, we're artists, and we have t-shirt designs featuring alphabet animals called Cubbytoons. Check out our Etsy store by searching Cubbytoons, one word, on Etsy.com or click the link below. Thanks a lot.